Thank you very much. Of course, we are coming live from Mthatha Nelson Mandela Museum. Yes, the program is about to start now. There is the program is full of interesting people that will be rendering their speeches. But now I'm joined by the chairperson of Nelson Mandela Museum, Phumeza Sikoti. Sisi, for sure, now the program is about to start. Can you just maybe briefly explain to us what can we expect and then why this day?
Certainly, the program is about to start. We are all excited in the province of the Eastern Cape, that is known as the home of the legend. The day is about commemorating the life and the heritage that was left behind by the man that we all honor in the entire world, Mthatha Mandela, who was born in this province, who was born in this particular municipality, the King Sabata Dalindyebo municipality, Upper Mthatha. We are standing right in front of the Nelson Mandela Museum, the museum that was decided that it must be built to honor his life, to honor his legacy. So 9 years ago, he passed on, and we know that for a fact it is very, very important as the country to sit back and think and always commemorate the life of this particular man and the values that he espoused during his life.
Still talking about the values, let's talk about peace and justice. We know that the world is sick. South Africa is sick. What can you tell maybe people who are outside the country about the values of Nelson Mandela when it comes to peace and social justice?
Yes, yesterday the program started with a peace walk, which was led by the South African Council of Churches. We moved from the Ultra City to the museum. We were moving and having the placards where we were praying for peace. We were shining the spotlight to the issues of gender-based violence, because we're living at the times in our lives and in the country, South Africa, where we see so much violence against Omama, and we are all saying that it is important, it is time that that violence must come to an end. We know that this violence is not only taking place physically, but there's a violence that is taking place in terms of the discrimination of women in the boardrooms, in the leadership, politically, in churches, in all sectors of our lives. So it's important that we pray peace in the country. And we had a session where we had a candlelight prayer. In that prayer, the South African Council of Churches led us in a prayer for hope, in a prayer for joy, and in a prayer for peace, because that is very, very important. That peace that passes all understanding must prevail, and that peace must prevail in South Africa right at this time in our country when we see so many, discomforting situations. So all we're saying is that there must be peace in our country. There must be peace today. There must be peace tomorrow. There must be peace throughout our lives, and we must stand for the values of Mthatha Mandela, because he stood for social justice, he stood for humanity, he stood for equality. We now know that there is always an outcry that there's inequality that we're still experiencing in so many, many years after we're voted. So it is important that we shine the spotlight on the values of the men, and we preserve and promote those values to guide us in the leadership, in everything that we do for the benefit of the populace that we are here to serve.
Thank you very much. That was Phumeza Sikoti, who's the chairperson of Nelson Mandela Museum, just giving us a glimpse of what is going to be taking place this morning here at Nelson Mandela Museum. We'll remember that Mthatha is where crime really is, where the crime is rife, and people would like maybe to see people exercising exactly what Nelson Mandela exercised during this his time. Back to you to studio.
Thank you so much, Nkululeko, and perhaps maybe put it out to our viewers to tell us how they are remembering the late former President Nelson Mandela at the agenda _SABC.